Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. I'm Adam, and I'm here with...
Hey everyone, it's Al. Hirt. What's up?
What is up indeed, Mr. Al Hirt? I said the name of the podcast correctly, right? You were smiling at me when I said Trek. I said Trek in the Valley, right? Like you would have noticed if I... Yeah, no, I did. So how's Saints Diego?
It's going well. It's very nice out here. I mean, a couple breezes here and there. I don't know, man. I've just been really going head first into like this whole emulation shit and just going down memory lane, like finding all these systems and games and compressing files and shit and just transferring it over. That's all. Do you have an simple, but
do you have an Atari Jaguar emulator?
I'm pretty sure I just have an Atari one.
So I recommend you get a Jaguar emulator, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the Aliens versus Predator Jaguar game.
Okay.
And it was like the game that I always wanted to play, and whenever I do start trying to do emulator stuff, it's one of the first things I get if it's easy to grab a Jaguar.
It just always blows my mind because it's like, you know, you remember as a kid being like, damn, I wish I could just get all these things. And it's like literally at your fingertips now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the way that I always looked at music in the age of Napster or whatever, where it's just... And to be fair, I think a lot of the games that I download are like older than 27 years old. In fact, like they all are, and I kind of feel like, fuck you, your game is public domain now, and I'm not using it I'm not selling it, you know, I'm using it for hey, we talk about emulators on the podcast, therefore it's fair use for us to use them. But yeah, no, I still have paused on Chrono Trigger. I've been working on a bunch of other shit, so I haven't really had time to like sit back here and jam out on the EMU.
That's one of the ones that are like greatest of all time in terms of RPGs and shit too.
Yeah, that's something people say, and I agree. I agree for the most part.
So I'm intrigued. I wanted to try that one too.
Yeah, and remember, get Lufia and Lufia 2, Fortress of Doom, or Rise of the Sinistrals. The two Lufia games for Super Nintendo. They're rare because they only made them like once, and I think we talked about this 100 times now, but the only time they were available other than on a Super Nintendo cartridge was like for a limited time on the Wii Virtual Console, like the original Wii Virtual Console. So I have them on my Wii somewhere, but that's not the most convenient way to play something.
No, yeah, other than that, just enjoying time at work, you know, like...
Enjoying that work time, you gotta, you know?
Yeah. No, actually, my coworkers have been... pretty nice, and you know the environment's good. Obviously, like the pay could always be more, so still browsing, but it is nice to be where I'm at. So
as long as it's
breather.
I have always, as somebody whose day jobs have always just been a means to having health insurance for when I go crazy or whatever, or get very sick or fuck my back up, what appears to be in a bummer of a way, but I definitely settle for looking for a job is worse than having a job that kind of sucks sometimes to me. But especially since I temped so many places when I got to LA, like I'm day job is day job, and that is just fine. So as long as it exists, good. Day job is that's my advice to artists. Day job is day job, and as long as it exists, good.
Yes.
So yeah, that's great.
Means to an end.
Have you seen any good movies or anything lately?
Honestly, just the big ones, Odyssey and Spider-Man. Hokum was really good. I enjoyed that.
What was?
A good horror movie with what's that guy's name?
What did you say?
Hokum.
Hokum, Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
I thought that was pretty fun. I thought
that was
Hokum
solid.
Was fun. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed Hokum.
It wasn't like terrifying, but it set the mood, you know.
Yeah, ghost story kind of thing. A bit,
yeah.
And
it was a fun little mystery and twist.
Did you see all the news? Did you see all the news out of Disney, out of D23, where they like announced a bunch of the X-Men cast and shit? Yeah, they're gonna do. It's like Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister, and then just a bunch of good but much more affordable actors than Adam Driver filling out the other part of the cast.
Yeah, right. Seriously,
I don't have it in front of me. I don't. This isn't an X-Men chat show or anything, so it doesn't really matter. But I just know the only thing that I really remember is the guy who played the Wolfman in that Lee Wannell's Wolfman. He's Professor X, and then Rogue is being played by the lady from Obsession. Yeah, dude. It's gonna be fucking cool.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, so if the world exists still in 2028, in a capacity where we can attend movies, we may be watching. I'm sure we will. I remember when I watched the original X-Men and we went to Applebee's and complained about how much it fucking sucked afterwards in 2001.
How dark it was in the suits.
Oh, it sucked.
And the yellow spandex line.
X2 was good, but all that shit is a wash in hindsight.
Oh, I mean, now it's like nostalgic to, look back and be like, it was a fun attempt.
I mean, between Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner, they were like, we can't get enough abusers working on this motherfucking X-Men franchise. But yeah, so that was good catching up. I mean, that brings us to our first official segment of the week.
Oh, yes.
What does Al remember? Al, what do you remember about Star Trek to Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 6, the unfortunately titled The Schizoid Man.
Oh, Schizoid Man?
The Schizoid Man.
Huh, I'm trying to think.
I'm also
They're zipping around out there.
They are indeed. I am kind of in a recursive loop with this because I think I've already used this for What Does Al Remember, but I couldn't find it in the doc where I track that. So we're all in this together, Al. So the Schizoid Man.
Oh, was this?
Maybe.
It was like Data. It's an episode about Data, right?
It is a Data episode. That's a one. I just played the little sample for a second. That's a
Energize.
Oh shit! Hold on.
So
now I couldn't find my Data sound
like,
drop.
They're taking care of somebody, and like they tries to transfer his stuff and Data.
Yeah. So I'm doing the Jack Nicholson from As Good as It Gets. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. But it's like kind of it's the mentor of the scientist that built Data.
Yes, and he wants to put his brain in a positronic body, like so many of us can relate to that, to right?
Extend.
In fact, I didn't even realize.
Doesn't he give away his hand by like professing his love and stuff to that chick? And
when he's got
no, I'm not interested.
You're remembering a number of things. Yes, he goes after his apprentice lady. When she when he's in Data's body, and it's gross seeing Data do stuff like that. It was really jarring. I didn't like seeing Data being like a creep that has a hard time taking no for an answer.
Hey, like Obsession, it was like him getting his autonomy stolen.
Yeah, it was exactly like the film Obsession. This episode, I bet that's where that YouTube director guy got it.
There we go. He figured it out.
Well, that's good. So you remember. So what is the solution at the end, Al? How do they get that guy's consciousness? How do they get his conscience? How do they get his brain out of Data's brain?
Transfer it or like shock him at? I don't know. It's something ridiculous.
Well, Picard confronts Data Graves in engineering. Graves dismisses Data's right to life and warns the captain not to approach. As Picard does, he sees that Graves has already attacked LaForge. Picard is like, "Hey, you gone too far," and then he fractures Briannon's hand in two places in the process. The woman that he supposedly loves.
And then he realizes, like, "Hey, it's It's the end.
Yep. And he
That's
tracks.
kind of terrifying.
It's funny because Picard goes to Data's quarters and Data's just laying on the floor. And when he gets turned back on, he's his former self again. And then Brianna discerns via the monitors that Graves has deposited himself in the ship's computer through the conscious human element that has been lost. Though the conscious human element has been lost. Isn't that fucking crazy, dude? And you haven't watched it, so kind of spoilers, but Discovery, they get they find a sentient computer that merges with their computer.
What the fuck?
But also, it doesn't become...
merging.
It's not like the computer Graves becomes a character in Star Trek The Next Generation going forward.
It's like override memories, yes.
But that was remember. Which brings us to the big fat meat of this week's episode of Trek in the Valley. That plump, juicy meat. This is Season 3, Episode 7 of Star Trek The Next Generation. The title is The Enemy, and it harkens back to maybe one of our favorite episodes from the original series a little bit. This is The Enemy. It was written by David Kemper and directed by David Carson, unless I got that wrong. The air date was November 7th, 1989, and after Geordi is stranded, the synopsis from P+, as I have it in here, Paramount Plus. We use the lingo of the industry. P+. After Geordi is stranded on a storm-ravaged planet, the crew's attempts to rescue him are hindered by an aggressive Romulan warship. Now, here's why that was so hard for me to read. I did not have a stroke, and that is not being ableist. If you have had a stroke out there, I'm not making fun of you. I see one in my future at some point, I imagine. But no, what happened was I used voice to text to transcribe that synopsis.
Oh my gosh.
So here's what it says to me. After Geordi is stranded on a storm-ravaged planet, the crew's attempts to rescue him are hindered by an aggressive Romulan warship. So not bad, actually. Not too bad.
Okay. Yeah. There's some attempts there.
It doesn't really give you it doesn't spoil any of the Geordi storyline where he is, trapped with that dude that we'll get into.
Yes.
This episode aired on November 7th, 1989. We're almost to the 90s, baby. Can't wait. Seriously, I bet all their hair changes. I bet everybody's hair and the uniforms change.
The shots are going to be different. Remember that episode in the original series when they zoomed in on all the alarms and stuff, and we're like, that's gotta be an era thing.
This is what were they doing? Yes, I remember the zooming in on the alarms. Absolutely. I fucking love that episode. I bet
the different shots and the top-down cinematography and stuff. We're like, all right, they're taking cues from other directors.
I bet you could Google it and find that episode of Star Trek the Original Series just by Googling the alarm clocks or what have you. Yes.
Oh yeah, that really, really stood out, honestly.
I mean, it was bonkers.
I'm psyched though. I mean, the sets are already getting better too, and the costumes are getting better already.
Oh yeah, Mom Spaghetti, absolutely. There's vomit on my sweater already. But so this week it starts. God, you're not gonna fucking believe this. No. It actually doesn't start with them zipping around out there.
Yeah, they're actually parked.
They're zapped, or what is it? What is it? If
they're beamed in. They're beamed in.
If zipping is zooming around, they are. Yeah, they are beamed.
Beamed.
They are beamed in, and it's an away team.
How a lot of episodes start.
It's an away team beaming down to what I can only guess to be a lightning world, as far as I can tell. Some sort of lightning planet. It looks like
constant storms.
It's like they went to the planet of the Sith, where the Sith have that big temple with the pyramid that's levitated by the dark energy of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a swamp kind of. It's muddy instead. And so Geordi and an away team, which I think it's just like Riker and
Worf. Yeah.
And they're like, I'm glad Data's not down here. This electrical storm would have scrambled his circuits. Oh my God. God damn.
Yeah, it's probably the one context when Data would not be useful. Because
right?
we're both always talking about how Data's overpowered.
Yeah, he's definitely OP.
Why isn't like Deanna Troy down there, sensing stuff?
Well, because of all the light. It's kind of, I'm not saying that it's delicate because she's dangerous. I'm not saying because she's a woman, because she definitely puts herself in danger. But it really feels like it's more of a, these are the people who can get struck by lightning and we could do without them.
That's true.
They don't have a lot of other empaths / telepaths that they can bring on board. So they've got 14.5 minutes because there's like a window in the electrical storm that surrounds this planet. They've got like 15-ish minutes before the window is going to close.
Are they just conducting research, right?
There was they got a distress signal.
Oh,
as
yes.
Like so many fucking episodes
of course.
Involved. They got a distress signal.
It is a Romulan distress signal, though, right?
No, they didn't know. They don't know that yet. They just got a distress signal that was like damaged or whatever, and so they beam down to this planet, and they've got a little bit of time before they won't be able to beam up anymore, and so they kind of look around and they find a piece of a Romulan shuttlecraft first and foremost, and then Geordi and the crew finds a piece of Geordi and the gang. They find a piece of a Romulan ship. And then he determines that it exploded after it crashed. You know why. So they separate, which is always a good idea. And Worf finds a knocked out Romulan. What the fuck happens here, Al? Can you tell me? I've lost my mind.
He just accidentally, not accidentally, but he incidentally just chokes him immediately. And he goes, "Hey, everyone.
Who chokes who? What happened?
Romulan." Worf chokes the Romulan from the get-go.
The Romulan fucking wakes up when Worf is in the cave with him.
He grabs him by the chin, really. He's not going to choke him.
Yeah, and
then the Romulan kind of snaps back, and then they start choking each other, and then Worf does this open palm kind of fist tap.
Yeah, the Romulan chokes Worf immediately.
Yes,
and then with both hands, like Bart Simpson's dad, old Homer J. Simpson himself. And then he does do the open palm strike, the palm strike, as comedian Graham Elwood would call it. And Riker shows up, what with all the commotion. And he's like, holy shit, I wonder if there's any other Romulans here. I wonder if he's the only one. Weird. And then
they just find it very strange.
And then fucking Geordi falls in a goddamn hole. Like, can you believe it? Geordi just falls in a pit, and it's got like a mud pit underneath where he lands.
Which is creating more mud because of the rain and the lightning and the storms. And it's just, he lost his visor too.
Oh my gosh. I must say there's a particularly disgusting. So Geordi is like, his visor's off. His little nubs on the side of his face are blinking. And he's looking for his visor in this muck, right? And he finds it. But it's all wet and shit. And I was just like, oh dude, no, like you don't want to, you should rinse that off a little bit before you put it on your fucking head, bro. And he doesn't care, dude. He just puts that dripping wet muck slime fucking visor on his face, and it just blows me away. And
they do something pretty clever too. Right after Geordi gets up and stuff, he just starts screaming Commander Riker, and you think it's Geordi screaming sufficiently loud enough, but what they do in the editing is the storm just cuts him off immediately. It's a really fun little editing trick.
And so Worf and Riker
just immediately overpowers Geordi.
Absolutely. Worf and Riker then get to the rendezvous point with
Worf looks around too
with the knocked out Romulan. Yeah.
But Worf looks worried and he starts looking around, and Riker's like, "Worf, stop! That's it! We're done.
We gotta go. You can't." Even though Worf probably feels responsible because he's the security officer on the away team, so he definitely.
And somebody had died under his.
Just a little while ago.
A while ago. Yeah.
If Geordi were to die, it would be the second time in 2 weeks that somebody has died on an away mission that Worf was the fucking security officer on. Even though Riker was leading.
And You know what I found interesting as well is as soon as
please tell
Worf and Riker both beam on the Enterprise, I thought it was funny that they usually beam sick people or people that are injured directly to the sick bay.
Oh, but not when
they
it's
kind of brought this cart.
Not when it's an enemy combatant. No,
that's true.
And it might have been because of the storm interfering with the beaming technology, but even Worf is like, have a security officer in the sick bay. And Crusher's like, he's not fucking going anywhere, dude. He's lost a lot of this green blood-like substance. Yeah, and that bed, that little, I didn't notice the first time, that foam stretcher that they bring out looks pretty fucking comfortable, dude. Like, that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it was just funny to see that. I was like, oh, they usually always beam them directly to the sick bay, but it's like, whatever.
So they don't know why there were Romulans there. Geordi does this clever thing where he finds some rocks with minerals in them, and he like makes a little channel for the minerals.
That was sick.
And then he uses his phaser to melt the minerals. And I was like, is he going to start a fire to warm his hands or something? But no. What's he doing, Al?
He creates like small stakes for his hand.
Climbing picks.
And then like he just makes picks. Yeah, like picks with like round ends on them. Mm-hmm. He makes 2 of them too.
Yeah, I thought he was going to make fire, but he made these cool, it looked like mercury. Like, oh, that's not going to hold it. But he does a good job.
Digging out of out of a hole, you know?
Space metal rocks, you know?
Who knows, yeah.
So,
and like, what if they didn't melt?
Exactly. Or what if his phaser, because we know that the electrical whatever is on this planet is fucking weird. So what if that affected the phasers? And we cut to sick bay where Picard and Riker are like, Crusher, can you fix this Romulan or not? And she's like, no, they're not exactly like Vulcans, and they're not like humans, and we need a really specific blood type of hemoglobin or whatever we need the globulins from a very specific type of global, and we got to test the whole crew.
And Picard was just like, can't you just replicate it? And Crusher's like, no, it really is still too complex.
It's gotta be the blurble from a glurb that's I can't remember what they called it, but I'll get to it later. So she says, and they want to interrogate the guy, but his brain is all jacked up because apparently when you're on this planet, yes, the band, the Magnetic Fields that my wife went and saw for our anniversary, cool. The Magnetic Fields made this guy's brain all goopy, and they're like, oh my god, is it also going to make Geordi's brain goopy? Which is a question that gets answered a little bit later on. The Romulan says he was alone, and he's like doing the whole, I won't let you interrogate me, motherfucker. You won't get nothing out of me now, motherfucker. And Geordi makes it out of the hole. It's epic.
Yeah, it is.
He's got them space metal climbing tools. I wonder if he's got those. I wonder if he kept them and they're like on his mantle in his quarters now as like a memento.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the movie Memento.
Castaway or something.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of Geordi scenes give. It's like Castaway. It's just that terror of being not only alone, but just like in a place you don't know, and it's raining sideways, and it's not sunny. You can't see where you're going.
It's a lot of electrical storm. It's like you're basically on a lightning world, and that's a lot to take. You know, it's a whole ordeal.
Seriously.
So then, Wesley has an idea for how they could possibly communicate with Geordi. What is it? Do you remember, Al?
It's a certain frequency that like Geordi can see through his visor. It's like a positron thing.
It's neutrinos.
Neutrinos, excuse me.
No, that's okay.
And then they shoot it out of like this tube. Then with that tube, if they change the frequency,
you're nailing
that
it.
way we'll know Geordi sees.
You're so good at watching TV, dude. You fucking nailed that.
But it feels like a really again, I felt that Office vibes of like, you know, some employee having some crazy idea and the boss just being like, fuck it, do it. I mean, we have nothing else going on, so go ahead. Of course. And then Geordi's all Wesley's all excited and he runs off, you know.
Well, that employee, because it was Wesley's idea. What Wesley says is we could use a probe with a neutrino pulse and shoot it down there, and then all Geordi's got to do, he'll see it with his visor, right? which won't be a problem at all. And
because it'll cut through the interference.
And because it's not that type of particle or whatever. So then Geordi's just got to fiddle with the frequency a little bit, and that'll prove that he's down there. Right? Pretty simple plan. However, Romulans reach out to Picard, and they're like, they're not reaching out to Picard. They're actually, so Picard and the gang replicate some, a signal. They capture a signal, basically, that's like under this other signal, under the distress call. And it's Romulans reaching out to the Romulans that were on the planet. And Picard intercepts the message, and they know now that the Romulan ship is going to be there in 6 hours.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Act 2, and that's a great place for an act break, you know? And Act 2 begins with what, Al? Romulans they reach out to the Romulan vessel, and how does that go?
Well, it's this entire awkward interaction of like, well, we have seen and encountered one Romulan down there in that planet, like, care to tell us why? And it's like, they're kind of telling them the truth, but not really telling them the truth. And their excuses, the Romulans are saying that it was a slight navigational error.
There. That's what I wanted.
So it was like past the neutral zone.
Yeah, so
and it's an awkward Mexican standoff, because it's like, if the Romulans were to go further,
I don't think we say that anymore.
Confront. That's true. It's an awkward standoff, but it's like, if the Romulans were to go through the neutral zone or past the neutral zone and confront Picard, then that's just like a means for war, basically, because it's like,
breaks the ceasefire.
Yeah, it breaks the ceasefire
because
they've been enjoying for all these years.
Yeah, that's how Picard puts it, that they've been enjoying for all these years. I love it. So but the Romulans are like, no, there's only one guy, and you've got him on your ship, and they say, you better meet us in the fucking neutral, at the edge of the Federation side of the neutral zone. And Picard says, a navigation issue that takes him a half light year off course, and he knows this Romulan's fucking full of shit. I try not to be racist about Romulans, but they really make them out to be pieces of shit in this.
Well, and he double checks too with Deanna Troi. Picard, double checks with Deanna Troi after the call, and he's like, so what was that? And she goes, yeah, he still has a bunch of hostility, and, you know, he's going to finish his mission no matter what. And Riker just like confirms his paranoia, and Worf is like, we should attack as soon as possible.
Yeah, Worf says they shouldn't give the Romulan back.
Like, right? This is crazy.
And so,
we shouldn't give the Romulan back.
It was ribosomes was the word I was looking for. Crusher has to find a ribosome donor among the crew that will be compatible with the Romulan that they've got in sickbay. And she's having trouble finding a donor. Now, they're not going to actually go meet the Romulan at the edge of the neutral zone. They're like, fuck that. We're going to hang out here and get Geordi back, and then we'll see what these Romulans have going on. And if they come into our area of space, the shit is going down. So they send the probe to the surface.
It's a funny little bit, though, actually, before, too, because everybody's like, you know, saying their complaints to Picard, and Picard's just like, okay, well, we have to be very careful here because we don't want to set off another war.
Right.
We don't want to Pearl Harbor or any like
or a space Pearl Harbor. Yeah, because they always have to do that. They have to do one that we would know from our society, and then they're like, and then the space Pearl Harbor as well of 2431.
Right, of course.
So Geordi is they send the probe to the surface.
So you got to be careful.
They send the probe to the surface, and Geordi looks like he's just, no matter where he goes, he has to climb.
He's like climbing,
he has to climb on wet rock, or something.
And I don't know what happened to those little, climbing pics. I guess on this wall that he's climbing, it doesn't really apply as much because it's kind of this awkward waterfall slant.
Yeah, so where's your... I thought the same thing. Where's your climbing pick, motherfucker? You could use that to stabilize
stand
yourself.
Up or something, too.
Dude.
I don't know. It didn't look that steep.
It looked very slippery, though. And there's always like... He was always standing in water. I was like, dude, you're going to get trench foot, man. You got to look out for that shit. And so he sees the probe off in the distance. And then,
it's so funny too because he just chuckles and he's like, ha, "Wesley, you motherfucker!
Oh, Wesley Crusher, you
son of a bitch!
Fucking did it again, you son of a bitch! I'm in."
That's clutch.
And then, of course, Geordi gets off the planet, and the episode ends before Act 3.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh no, that's not what happens at all. What happens?
He gets smacked in the back of his head.
He gets a bonkin from,
and it's like dun dun dun, another Romulan.
So there wasn't. So the Romulans are huge liars. And
for sure,
we know that now because they this whole thing was predicated on there was one Romulan and he is in the sick bay of the Enterprise, but now we know there's more than one. And this Romulan's got a pistol and he's interrogating Geordi, and then rocks fall on him. And Geordi helps him, of course, because the Starfleet guy, right? He's a good guy.
Yeah, Geordi's a good person.
And of course, the Romulan's like, "Thank you so much. We can work together now," right? Isn't that what happens?
No, and the first thing I was thinking, of course, cruel me, was like, "Oh, you got to grab his weapon, just in case."
But you're a thinker,
of course, Geordi just was very kind and dragged him in. And the second they all relax, the Romulan just points his pistol at Geordi again, and Geordi's like,
"Got
Stop,
your ass.
You're kidding."
He's like, "Got your ass, motherfucker. Sit down. Sit down."
Yeah, and Geordi's like, "Are you serious? Like, come on. This is crazy."
Oh, I'm
I could have
serious.
just left you out there.
I'm serious as a fucking heart attack, bro. Sit your ass down on that wet rock. Sit on another wet rock, Geordi.
It's cool though with the darkness that these lights that they set are very, clever, and you can see silhouettes and like the highlights of their faces and shit.
I like the planet stuff. Olgalarganarga 4 or whatever it's called. They do it. Glorbalor 4. Something. It's like it's a real Rick and Morty ass name. I know that much is for sure. And so Gallardon 6 or 3 or something. It's definitely got a number 2, I believe, but we'll never know. There's no way to find out. So Worf, we find out. And isn't this just such a fucking fucker of a situation, dude? Because it would be so convenient if Crusher were to find out that the ribosome match that she needs to save the Romulans, because it's important that they save the Romulan's life, right? Because Picard is like, if this Romulan dies, it's bad news, and he will have died because of the Enterprise. Basically, could be war, right? And so wouldn't it be nice if it was just like some regular, or like Wesley Crusher or somebody who she could even boss around, like he would be the ribosome match? But no, who's the ribosome match, Al?
Unfortunately, it is Worf.
What? That is so inconvenient, dude. Worf's parents were killed by Romulans.
Yeah, and Crusher's trying to convince Worf and stuff, and Worf's just like, if the Romulans killed your parents, you'd probably think differently. And Crusher's like, but this Romulan didn't kill your parents, so why don't you just, get over it and be the bigger man?
You're the only one who can save him.
That sucks. I guess he's going to die then. I was kind of like, nice. Way to go, Worf. 10 toes down.
Well, yeah, I guess, but
it's so funny, but it's also just like, God damn it.
So, then he will die.
Yeah, the way he's just like, sucks. He's going to die, I guess. Bye.
Right? And so, Romulans killed my parents. I will not give their blood to him. So Geordi and this dumbass Romulan chit-chat. Geordi's visor sense is all fucked up. And this is funny because the Romulans are like, the Romulans like, your parents let you live even though you were a defective blind child? And he's like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, no wonder you people are so fucking weak, bro. They didn't throw you off a cliff when you were born when they found out you were fucking blind, dude.
It's a fucked up bit.
Well, that's like a thing from olden Gilgamesh times or whatever, or some.
Well, I remember in 300 they'd always throw that scene.
Oh yeah, that's where babies. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of 300, which would be real sad if I confused Gilgamesh times with 300. Holy shit, dude! What a pudding brain I have become.
They've probably done that at some point, though. For an author to reference it.
And so Geordi is like, we got to leave the planet because the planet is fucking with us. And Geordi can like see, that's the one thing. Geordi can like see that Bachran's like temperature's up, his heart rate's fucked up before his visor stops working. And then, of course, right before we go to commercial break, most convenient time for something like this to happen, Geordi's visor just completely conks out. And he's like, I'm blind. And
it didn't, like, nothing cost for that to happen, right?
It's just the planet is, like, eroding it. The planet eroded the planet eroded the part of his brain that communicates with his visor.
Jeez,
the interference. Freaky. It is freaky, right? But here's one thing. Here's what I think, though. Geordi has been blind his whole life. He's been without sight his whole life, right? I think that he would be more accustomed to being unsighted or whatever. He really feels like without his visor, he doesn't know how to do stuff, you know? And I feel like he would be better at it than that. He would be able to fix that thing by feel.
Future, you know?
Well, yeah.
Maybe he hasn't really like given a fuck and just worn that visor the entire time. You know?
He hasn't had it since he was like a little kid. I don't think.
But I don't know then. But
I don't know the exact.
Maybe he's just been in pain his whole life too, though.
Yeah,
that's
he says
that. Crazy.
It's wild.
Just to be like that tolerant. No, what I mean, it's like you would think he'd be able to like navigate and be a little more athletic if he's super tolerant to pain, but maybe he just like directs that to his imagination for creativity for like engine design and systems and shit.
I think honestly, dude, I think this episode shows that Geordi has pretty good physical prowess. He does a lot of the climbing. He's constantly wet. Like I'd be done. I'd fall in that hole and I'd be wet and I'd just be like, well, I'm just gonna sit here until they come back and find me. You know, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
It's like you're right. It's like it does lead to my point of like he is in pain all the time with his visor. So it's like what's a couple of days in the rain to him, you know?
Sure, yeah, dude. He even puts his
we don't really know how much pain he's in, but it does imply that it's like it does hurt a lot.
He never gives it. Like I had to give my physical therapist my pain scale 1 to 10. Like he doesn't have the frowny face. There's no frowny face at 6 for him to point to. So Act 4 opens with Riker shooting Saki in his quarters. And Worf comes in and he's like, I get that you're bitter. And Worf is like, you cannot know. I give up my lifeblood and my parents' blood for my enemy. And Riker's like, look, man, Klingons used to be like Romulans to the Federation, you know? So what the fuck? And Riker's like, he goes, is that what you believe? So you believe I should be the donor? And Riker's like, what I believe doesn't matter. And this is Worf puts a pin on the duality of this whole thing. He says, my Starfleet training is telling me one thing, but every fiber of my being tells me another. And so it's like basically Worf's...
it's a man versus self.
It's a Klingon versus Federation. Yeah, there are 2 wolves inside of every Klingon serving in the Federation, and one of the wolves is a Klingon wolf or a Targ. There's a Targ and a wolf in every Klingon. My voice broke like I'm a prepubescent child there. So Crusher calls Worf to sickbay to give him...
You did miss one part.
Oh, what the fuck did I miss?
The Romulans confronting Picard for the first time, and like they're just bickering over like the officer and stuff. And the Romulans like, can't I just come over and pick him up? And Picard's like, well, we don't even know if it's a one-man ship yet. I mean, he doesn't outright say it, but he's like, well, we just want to have a little bit more time to like assess the situation.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier that the Romulans were on their way, right? And Picard tells them
they're there.
Picard tells them you can't come out, you can't come into Federation space, and he does. And
but it's like he goes, dude? He goes territories, Picard.
Oh,
you're really gonna pick over territories for a man.
I hadn't missed it yet, because we get the red alert at the end of this act. So,
but but this is like right before they show up
when they're on their way.
Yeah.
29 minutes.
I think they're 30 minutes out.
Is it 30 minutes away from Federation space?
Yeah, and so then he's just like, honestly, if you don't want to risk any more lives, then don't even leave the neutral zone. Like you're supposed to be in battle formation when you get into Federation space. So like you better bring it. And then like all that drama happens, and then Crusher asks Worf.
come to sickbay to give him one last chance and to basically show him the dying Romulan.
Oh my gosh!
And the Romulan says, "I would rather die than have your Klingon mud blood coursing around in my green blood body."
And Crusher's like, "Fuck, maybe it wasn't a good idea to bring him around."
And then on the planet, Geordi has basically given up. And Bokra,
for real,
the guy, the Romulan that's down there with him, is like, "Fucking come on, man." Geordi's like, "I can't help you, man, unless I can fucking smell neutrinos." And he goes, "Why don't you connect your tricorder to your visor?" And Geordi's like, "That's not how it works." And he's like, "That isn't possible." And of course, wait a second, maybe it is possible. What? Right? And so Geordi says again, "Oh no, it's not possible because I can't see, and you can't do this kind of calibrations where you connect these two things." I like this. He goes about the visor and the tricorder. That's what Bokra recommended. He's like, "Put your tricorder and your visor together, have them work together." And he's like, Geordi says they speak different languages. And Geordi says he can't do these kind of fine calibrations by feel. And of course, a classic science fiction trope. The Romulan says, "I will be your eyes." And it's like, let's fucking go, dude.
You
Here
have
we go.
my sword.
Working together, motherfucker. So they've got a storm window that's opening up in less than an hour. And the Romulan ship enters Federation space, and Picard goes to red alert. Which brings us to a pretty great Act 5, right? So they make a scanner.
Yes.
Worf, or not Worf, Geordi and Bokra. They attach the scan. There's a great scene of Geordi standing behind him with his hand on his shoulders,
just shaking him and holding him, getting all hype.
They team up to make like a Geiger pointer, like a dowsing rod.
I guess a neutrino finder though, right?
A neutrino dowsing rod. He's like, it doesn't have to be accurate. It just has to beep when we're kind of pointed in the right direction, and we'll find it. Now Picard chats with Worf about his blood, and it's a great scene because Picard is like, lay it on me. What's Picard's position here, Al? Why doesn't Picard just order Worf to give the blood?
It's just he's kind of trying to respect the needs of an individual over the needs of like a whole. But at the same time, actually, I found this term in a review. He doesn't want to have a casus belli, which is a Latin term that is an act or an event that justifies a nation in initiating war.
Yeah.
So it's like at the same time, he's like, I don't want you to like, give up who you are for just some guy.
But this could stop the Federation from going to war.
But also, it's like you have to think about the needs of many,
He gives him a bit of a Spock talk. He says, he's like, as the captain, I always have to think of the needs of the Federation over your needs, Worf. And Worf says, "Hey, look, if you order me to give my blood, I'll fucking do it, right? I'll just do it. Like, if you order me."
Yeah, but Picard's such a good person. He's like, I'm not going to order. I will ask you. In fact, I beg you to volunteer.
I'm begging you to volunteer.
Yeah.
And Worf expects Picard to order him, but he doesn't. And Worf is just like, I'm not going to do it. And then
it's like, okay,
Crusher.
That's fine.
Crusher calls him over the intercom and says, "Well, we don't need Worf anymore anyway. The Romulan's fucking dead." God damn it, dude. Come on, Worf.
It's like, with that as well, they kind of lose their only point of leverage with the Romulans too.
Yeah, because they don't know that there's another Romulan down there yet, because they haven't gotten to Geordi and Bokra haven't gotten to the rendezvous point yet, or the neutrino thing. So basically, Picard says that if the Romulan dies, it'll be bad for everybody, and he does immediately die after he says that. Picard tells the Romulan captain that the Romulan's dead, and the Geordi and Bokra find the beacon.
Yeah, they finally find the beacon.
But now they've got to figure out how to edit the signal. So that's going to take some time, and he still can't fucking see. And then Picard's got to tell the Romulan captain that the Romulan's dead, and obviously that doesn't go over very well, right? The Romulan captain's not fucking happy about that. He's ready to start a war.
Yeah, it's just, you know how, I guess I keep thinking about work, but it's also just like how you're trying to delay the inevitable and just kind of giving somebody the runaround and being like, okay, just one more second, just trying to keep the peace as long as possible and
buy as much time.
Buy so much time.
As many fucking seconds
Geordi
as you
out
can.
Of there. Yeah, and especially because they're waiting for the opening in the next storm and all that.
Well, yeah, because the Romulans have their weapons fired up and they've got the shields
Seriously.
up. So they have to bring the shields down in order to beam up the Romulan and Geordi. And they don't know for sure that it's another Romulan. It might be a ghost signal or something. They don't know. But he says to the other captain, who's not even talking to him anymore at this point, he says, look, we've got to trust each other enough to fucking figure this shit out. You know, it's like, and if you're wondering, you know, who's going to make the first move, who's going to show the first like bit of vulnerability. And he's like, it's me, I am. And, and he tells him to lower the shields. So they lower the shields and then they beam up the Romulan and Geordi. They got the two life forms near the beacon. Picard does that's classic Picard diplomacy when he's talking to the Romulan captain.
Oh yeah, this is a great monologue.
And then he beams them directly to the bridge. So Muddy Geordi and Muddy Bokra are like, you know, we're here now.
Yeah, they just show up with their mouths open, shocked in the middle of the bridge, just like, holy shit.
And, there's also, before we get too much farther, there's a great shot where Picard approaches the screen that's got the Romulan ship on it, and it's like he's talking to the Romulan ship. Yeah. It's very funny. But yeah, so Bokra explains to the fucking Romulan.
Oh, I see the shot you're talking about.
Yeah, Bokra explains to the Romulan captain, no, I didn't give them any information, and Picard's like, we're going to give him back if you stand down. And
then, we're going to treat him very well.
Yeah, well, they're just going to, they walk him right to the fucking, they walk him right to the transporter pad. And there's a great quote at the end where Picard says, Brinksmanship is a dangerous game, where it's like, that's like when two, and that's where it really reminds me of the Brinksmanship of, the Balance of Terror, when we've got that it really is kind of like a sort of a Balance of Terror-esque in terms of it's the Romulan and Federation cultures kind of butting heads and having to figure something out together, but while also being aggressive while also dealing with the fact that the Romulans are aggressive, not the humans, of course.
But it's just so awkward too, because Picard's like, well, so much for that one man, quest, right?
Yeah, that one man ship.
Another person or the one man ship.
And that's when the Romulan's
the Romulan's like, well, I didn't really. I didn't.
I was told the wrong
ship. The capacity of the ship.
I was told the wrong. I was given the wrong information. You know how it is, Picard. Picard, you know how it is. You get the wrong information. One thing that I want to
so awkward.
One thing that I want to say about this episode, and then I want to know what you thought about it, is I fucking hate, even when it's supposedly the villains of the universe, like the Romulans, I fucking hate hypocrites so much. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? If there was a Federation shuttle that crashed in a half light year in the Romulan side of the fucking disputed area, the Romulans would not let Picard come in and fucking
and stuff.
Yeah, they would torture them to death, and then they would immediately attack the Enterprise when it showed up to try and find them. You know, it's just such bullshit. And that's where this is different than Balance of Terror, because I have zero fucking respect for the Romulan captain. But what did you think?
But it's also a matter of, like, being the bigger man and turning the other cheek and all that. I do kind of like, though, the reality and the seriousness of the episode of still being like, nope, Worf doesn't change his mind.
That's so great.
That, like, he's still standing down, and, like, it's still, I think that just brings a dose of reality into the entire episode, which I really like.
The fact that guy died.
I don't know, I very enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it because of, we see Geordi on his own doing his thing, because it's like, we do see Geordi a lot as a sidekick in a lot of these episodes.
Sure.
And like, you know, we don't really see the power of science, you know, cut through. And this whole neutrino thing was a really good idea. Like the little bit with Wesley
and Geordi working together, even though they're not together.
And what would have made this episode bad and cheesy is if both of the members were saved. Like that might have actually something like that wouldn't have happened in the original series either, because remember the monochromatic race of those two people, and they like just let them still fight, and then they're like, let's just leave.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
They still have a taste for like, you know,
Picard would have handled
dark stuff and a dose of reality in there. You know,
Kirk
like,
would have handled this a lot differently, I think.
Oh yeah, but it just doesn't. What's the word? You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like you could tell somebody all the right things, but they're still gonna be stubborn and do what they want to do.
It certainly doesn't resonate on the same level as Balance of Terror in terms of analyzing the relationship between the Romulans and Starfleet.
I like the tension though.
I did really like it. Well, let's get into it. How many Romulan ships? Let's say.
I was gonna do those melted steaks.
Oh yes. How many melted mercury climbing spikes do you give this, Al?
Oh man.
1 to 5.
I would recommend this to someone too, but this one, it was a little slow, honestly. I would say like 3.5.
Okay, 3.5 from Al. I'm gonna give it a 4. Because it has a lot of the tropes that I love. It's got Geordi being a MacGyver. It's got people standing in water. It's got the body horror of putting a gross visor on your face. Like, dude, that's got to interface with your brain, dog, and it's covered in muck. Like, come on, man. Be good to yourself, Geordi. Wipe it off. Blow on it. At least he should have blown on it.
My critique is also, too, of like, man, there wasn't really a B plot. Maybe the other captain showing up and stuff.
Worf having to give his blood. Too.
But I don't know. I just think it's like kind of important just focusing on like, oh, we have to save Geordi. You
wanted to see 45. You wanted to see 42 minutes of Geordi slipping around on a wet rock, and I get it.
No. I needed more. No, I needed less of that. Is what I was saying. I was saying maybe more of a balance, but like maybe a crazier B plot. But I don't know. Maybe it was missing something for me. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I liked it. I thought the fact that Worf just let that guy fucking die and
that was definitely the best part.
The expected TV show resolution for that you would expect to not have that happen.
Like, oh shucks, I really am I guess this Romulan honestly is a good person.
Probably would have been a 3.5 from me as well without
especially since the Romulan was just like, I'm gonna be real racist and da da da.
That Romulan captain really sucked. Yeah, dude.
He's like, I wouldn't want your blood in me anyways.
Oh, and that guy,
like,
yes.
Right, fuck you.
and Worf is just like, you're making this very easy for me, you
seriously
fucking turd. Well, so that's our discussion. 3.5 from Al, 4 from me, which brings us to our final official segment of the week. Oh, wait, I did Welshie by mistake. Welshie! Fry saying Welshie, okay.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
What have you got for us this week, Al?
Everybody's probably already seen this new Spider-Man 2, A Brand New Day. That one was very good.
So you recommend that?
I'd recommend that. But also, let's see.
But yeah, it made $1.4 billion so far. That one thing I want to mention.
I would say it's probably the most suggested movie right now.
I was talking to somebody and I said, it's crazy that the Odyssey has all of the IMAX screens when Brand New Day came out. And the person I was talking to was like, well, yeah, that's superhero fatigue. But it's not really though in this case because Spider-Man has made more money than the Odyssey even without the IMAX screens. But yeah,
well, it's just people like the hero in particular. It's like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman won't die,
and they know the Hulk's going to be in there, so that was good.
Yeah. But I would also say though, a good recommendation would be to check out. There's this. I would say check out Hokum.
Yeah.
But because I definitely enjoyed that. But I've also recently heard, I mean, this is just a rumor. Hopefully it's true. But I'll be watching Kingdom Hearts is apparently making an animated series.
Yeah, they're going to do a Disney Plus animated series.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that. But there's definitely going to be a Disney event actually in a couple hours here too that's going to be streaming, so I'll be checking that out as well.
Right on.
So yeah, I'd recommend anything Kingdom Hearts.
Cool. Well, I'm going to recommend Reacher Season 4.
Oh, okay.
Because that came out. It's very good. It's another fine season of Giant Man is Smart.
Yes.
And I think maybe I might have recommended Spider-Man last week. I can't remember what I recommended, but I did think that was interesting, and seeing all this X-Men news is kind of cool. Dude, but
it was such a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. So go check out fucking Spider-Man. I was also going to say.
What are you going to recommend?
If I did, I recommended Reacher Season 4.
Oh, yeah.
But Reacher, also, I wanted to say, if you happen to listen to this on Sunday right away when it comes out, King Gizzard is streaming their sets from the Field of Vision festival that they do. If you just look up King Gizzard on YouTube, it'll have like I saw that Angine de Portuin last night opening for them, and I watched the first little bit because they King Gizzard live streams all of their shows.
Dude, such a cool band, so cool.
And you may be able to watch it on demand, and they also let people bootleg it. So I would watch last night's set, but so listen to some music, watch fucking Reacher, watch Spider-Man. What else did you recommend?
Let's just play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah. Get into Kingdom Hearts. Get ready for that anime and come back next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
176. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordal-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com. Or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.